Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchtime series, proudly powered by leadershipbydesign.co, where we aim to add value to people's lives. And you can listen to us every Wednesday and Thursday at lunchtime on ebizradio.com, where we talk about everything coaching, leadership, and marketing. And you can listen to the Lunchtime series on all your major podcast channels today. Today in our coaching segment, we have founder and CEO of Xennial Travel Coaching and Consulting Agency. Please let me know if I'm saying it right. Works with remote-based business owners to build, grow, and scale sustainable remote businesses. Lori Konkler. Lori, how are you doing? Thank you. And
welcome. I'm doing fantastic. And you did the name perfectly. So we're good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you for making the time. I know that you're having a very tough time down in
the Virgin Islands, yeah.
The Virgin Islands, and it's it's nice and sunny and hot, and it's just terrible time you're having.
yes, terrible.
All right, just to kick it off, tell us a little bit about who you are. Tell us more about you, and how did you get to be who you are today?
Yeah, so well, obviously my name is Lori. I am a digital nomad. I'm a travel lover, and CEO of the Xennial Traveler company, where we help remote-based entrepreneurs to pursue their dreams of being able to live, work, and travel anywhere in the world. So in terms of how I got here, I think I've always had a bit of a travel bug in me. I know I have. From day one, I went into the hospitality industry in college, hospitality and tourism. So I was in travel, tourism, hotels for many years, and realized I was kind of sick of helping other people enjoy their life and not really enjoying my own. About 7 years ago, I think 7 years ago, we took a long vacation, my husband and I, and came back to the realization that we were in Wisconsin in the winter, which is actually terrible, not like the Virgin Islands, below zero, miserable temperatures, and this realization that we had the ability to change our situation. We didn't have to keep living somewhere that we didn't want to be. We could pursue our dreams. We didn't have to wait till we were 70 years old to actually enjoy our lives. So that was kind of the beginning. The Xennial Traveler actually started as a travel blog. That was how I thought I was going to be able to live and work from anywhere. And the more I talked to people and who had seen what I had done, we moved to the Caribbean. When we got back from that trip, 3 months later, we were living in the Caribbean, and other people wanted to do that. So I kind of stumbled upon the coaching idea after working with a coach myself, and recognized that I could have a much greater impact and actually do something that I enjoyed versus writing, which I'm good at, but also recognize that I don't want to be a writer. So travel blogging kind of got thrown out the window, and entered in coaching, and being able to not only help people to build these businesses, but use my own expertise of having done it myself, but also 15 years of sales, marketing, and business operations experience before I quit my job. So
yeah, it's such a fascinating story, and I think if you speak to many coaches, coaches have kind of had that exact same experience. They found themselves in a space and kind of started realizing that they could actually help people, and it becomes an evolution of coaching. And so I mean, the next question is, why did you decide to be a coach? Was that the reason? It was the reason to kind of go, well, I know how to do this. I know how to do this successfully. Maybe I can help people. Like, what was your reason for that?
Yeah, the reason I got into coaching was, yes, because I wanted to help people. The reason, said we left our jobs, we wanted to build these, businesses and live a more remote-based lifestyle, was because I wanted freedom. And then I recognized that as I did that, more and more people kept saying, I want that. I wish I could do what you've done. And realized that there was so many people that thought that it was out of their reach. And, I was just a normal person. There was nothing, spectacular about me that made it possible for me to do this. So that's what kind of led me to the idea of coaching, is because I hated seeing people think that they couldn't do, that they couldn't have, and I wanted to help it become more accessible to other people. And I actually started doing this before COVID, but then COVID hit, and it made it that, as I'm sure a lot more people really kind of started to jump into this online space, and I was able to help a lot more people at that point.
So I mean, why do you think online businesses fail? Because I'm sure that whoever's going to listen to this, and I try and share this with all my platforms and wherever I can, and a lot of people, I was lucky in a sense, because I don't really come from a marketing background. My sort of background is really based in human behavior and how to help people get to where they want to go, but it's a very human kind of approach and a human-centric approach. But I mean, what I did was sort of guerrilla tactics and kind of just went at it like a crazy person, and I just did a whole bunch of stuff, and thankfully it made an impression and impact in the right way. And my business throughout COVID and still today has ongoing work, and I'm very blessed that. But a lot of businesses that want to be doing this, they set out to do it, but they don't necessarily succeed. So why do you think online businesses fail?
Well, I mean, I do think that there's a few reasons from the marketing perspective, right? As a marketing person myself, what I see happening is they come in and they focus their energy in the wrong areas. I cannot tell you how many people, when I ask, oh, how's it going for you so far? Oh, good. I'm just building my website and I've got my business cards and my logo. And I'm going to be, I don't know if swearing is okay, so I'll filter my language here. But I see so many people doing this, and I just want to say, stop. Oh my gosh, stop. Nobody cares about your logo. Nobody cares about your website. Get out there, talk to people, network, build an audience for yourself, because your website doesn't matter, your business card doesn't matter, your logo doesn't matter if you're not talking to anybody, if you have no audience, if there's nobody on the other side to actually take your business card or to look at your website. I think a lot of people think that that's what marketing's about. You just throw it out there and they will come, and that's not it. And even as someone who's in marketing myself, I had to be reminded of this in the beginning, that if you don't have an audience, you don't have a business when it comes to the online space. So that is first and foremost. And it's not just making pretty Canva designs and posting them on Instagram either. It's actually taking the time to build an audience, because you can put all the Canva designs out there and make it as pretty as you want. But again, if you aren't actually connecting with people, doesn't matter. You're going to get no traction. So from a marketing perspective, that's one of the biggest things. That, and I have a saying, I mean, it's not my saying, I say it a lot though, is let your freak flag fly, is that people are presenting themselves in a way that is not genuine to them, because they think that that's what they're supposed to do, because that's what they see other people do, and they're doing things other people's way and trying to repeat versus trying to customize things to themselves. And when it doesn't feel aligned with who you are as a person, it's really hard to continue going with that. And then the third part being, a lot of people do, you were lucky, like you said, a lot of people do the guerrilla tactics, and they're just out downloading freebies and, searching in Google. And, some people that comes a little easier too. But, for instance, I have a lot of clients, they're just like, all I want to do is coach. All I want to do is, service my clients, and help my clients. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to do this, but yet they're out there trying to do it before, working with me. Of course, they're trying to do it themselves because they're trying to bootstrap and save money. And I get it. But there are cheaper resources out there. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars necessarily to get help. Going at it alone is one of the hardest things that you can do, and it's one of like the surefire ways to drive yourself into like this feeling of just aloneness and despair and self-judgment. And you said you specialize more in kind of the behavior side of it, and you also know when people beat themselves up and they don't have that belief in themselves. That's the last part right there. If you don't have the belief in yourself and what you're doing, you're not going to be successful no matter what you do.
And that was one of the things I just wanted to ask you. Do you think that because a lot of the times people have great ideas and they have this wonderful brand, but what's holding them back is fear. And it's that, you speak about that, let your freak flag fly at least, and or fry for that matter. and people are they're held back because they have that internalized dialogue and that voice that kind of goes, yeah, but what if they don't like it, or what if someone says this, or and that that is also like, that's 50% of like debilitation right there.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I have some definite thoughts on this. But yeah, I completely agree that fear is one of the biggest stoppers, because you can get all of the things right, but if you are dealing with, again, that feeling of fear, whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, sometimes even fear of what happens when you succeed, and you don't deal with those feelings, it is a debilitating thing for a lot of people. And the inner work is what makes the outer stuff work. So yeah, I agree with you absolutely.
Yeah, and not to jump the gun, I don't want to like go past all our questions here, but I also think that like when you do and you put it out there and you let your freak flag fly just a little bit, and people get to have a bit of a taste and a nuance of who you are, like very often people don't realize that you're uniquely you. And when you offer that up and you're confident in that space and that place, people resonate. There are certain people that will resonate and certain people that won't. But it's the genuineness of that I think people pick up on and kind of go, yeah, I like what I'm hearing from him, because there's something about that person that I want to work with. But I mean that leads to our next question, like why is a personal brand important to your success as a remote based entrepreneur? Because personal brand, I mean, that's one of the things this year I've changed my brand to having a cap in it, because if you see me on the street, if you see me out in public, if you see me anywhere, I have a cap on. So the logo has turned into a hat, because it's just who I am. It's part of my character. It's part of my day to day. But why is a personal brand so important to remote-based entrepreneurs?
Yeah, exactly. And because your personal brand, your freak flag, right? That's what attracts people to you. And people, when it comes to marketing, they're all about client attraction, and I want to attract. You don't attract being the same as everybody else. You are the only you there is. And the thing that makes you different, like, okay, as a business coach, as a social media manager, as a business consultant, whatever it is that you're doing, a lot of what you offer is very similar to other people. The thing that makes you different is you, and your personal brand is that. And when you don't allow that to be seen, you're just kind of blending in with everybody else. You're just gonna feel like everybody else, and people, they might say, oh, okay, yeah, that's great what Lori had to say there, but they may not really feel that connection. When you let your freak flag fly, when you have a personal brand, you are able to build that know, like, and trust factor, meaning people begin to feel like they know you. And as they know, like when you know someone, you're more likely to trust them. And when you know and trust them, you're going to like them. When you know, like, and trust them, or no, yeah, the order that it goes in there, you you're more likely to want to work with them, to refer them. And that's even more powerful than just landing that one customer. It's having an audience full of raving fans that are out there doing your marketing for you. And you're not going to have to try so hard. The more that you allow yourself to be seen, the more people want to connect with you. And yes, that might feel like sometimes it's narrowing down your audience, but when you narrow down your audience and you get rid of those people that aren't connected, don't feel a connection with you, then you have your core of really dedicated people that you can then present your business to, that are going to buy from you and are going to be your cheerleaders. That is way more powerful than any Canva template, than any reel that you're going to create that's just going to attract everybody in the world because it went viral. You being you is the most powerful thing that you have and the most valuable asset you have in your business.
And I'm so glad that you're saying that, because I've even recognized that I've put I've had this posting system run and do posts for me on Instagram, and just and I've recognized that it's almost like it's become bland, it's become boring, it's become pointless.
Mm-hmm.
I've completely stopped. I just stopped it. I was like, but it's not working. It's not really engaging people at any level. So what I do now is I sort of record the behind the scenes of this recording to kind of go, hey guys, so this is what happens behind the scenes, and just to get people really involved. But the point being that whole conversation around letting people know who you are, I think that is what makes the connection between why people want to work with you or not, and also just like building really good relationships.
Yes.
Being long-lasting relationships. I mean, I've had some clients now where I work my ass off to make sure that they are just, it is top notch, that by the time I leave there, that the room just speaks volumes, that when I'm not in the room, everyone has something good to say about it. And because I've done that, and because I've put myself at that bar and sort of leveled up to that degree and kind of wanted to be the best of the best the whole time, that speaks more volumes than any posting or any logo that I changed or anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is when it comes to, like I said, logos, websites, etc., you don't even need them. Like I said, if you're going out there and you're being yourself on social media, and I love the behind the scenes aspect too, because again, it's giving people a glimpse of you and what it's like. That is so much more powerful. And to be honest too, it's so much easier than having to worry about some of all of the other things right up front in your business. It's being yourself though, and I want to recognize this too, it is one of the most difficult things that you will do in your business, but it is one of the most powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, what are the top 3 mistakes that you've made when starting out with your clients, skip by working with you? So like those top 3 mistakes that you sort of recognize that people are doing, and when they're starting out as your clients, and because I'm sure you probably have seen maybe a pattern, and people often do the same kind of 3 things or 5 things that you just shouldn't.
Yeah, well, we actually kind of talked about some of them, if not most of them already, but the first one being, again, they're just not focused on the right things, and that being, again, like focusing on the things that aren't going to really get them seen, like the website.
So superfluous, could we say, like, stop focusing on like superfluous things that are not actually engaging with humans?
Yes, exactly, because the humans, that's what's going to move your business forward. So focusing on the things that are, yes, maybe important eventually, but they're not moving you forward. Stop focusing on those things. The other pieces of that are letting that freak flag fly, and just letting your guard down and letting yourself be genuinely you. And then the next thing being that just stop telling yourself what you can't have, what you can't do, and focus on what's working, what you can do, what actions you can take right now to move your business forward. Get out of your own damn head, because to be honest, as humans, we're very selfish people. And the people that are wanting to buy from you, yes, they're attracted to you, but they don't care about you. They care about how you're going to help them. So get out of your own head and stop focusing on yourself and focus on the actions that you can take to move yourself forward.
Yeah, I mean, and do you also find that literally actually saying, like, we're connected on this social app, like, and this is what I do, this is what you do, can we just have a connection? And I've done that to a number of people before, and out of the 10 or 20 connections that I do, they just connections, and then I have 2 or 3 of them, and they're like, no, it's please send me more information about that, or but purely just stepping out and stepping forward and making those connections really work really well.
Yeah, if I can go to 5, yes, that's the other thing. Like, just keep talking to people, like, network, build your network. Your network is your net worth. So talk to the people in your audience, go to networking events, have conversations with people, whether they're going to buy from you or not. The more you build that network, the faster you're going to grow, because those are the people too, even if, again, they don't buy from you, they're going to engage with you on social media. They're going to share your stuff. And then the people in their audiences are going to see you. So just put yourself out there, connect with people, humans, because that is what's going to move you forward. Getting there in the back end and worrying about, your web design and, how pretty your Canva templates are, or setting up that email automation for your email list of 3 people. Doesn't matter. Okay, focus on the things that matter.
Absolutely. So, I mean, another interesting one is how do we pick a niche when stepping into entrepreneurship? Because I've been doing this for almost 10 years now, and I kind of go, like, people ask me, like, what is it that you do? And I'm like, I add value to people's lives. Like, I'm a solutionist that adds value to people's lives, and how that comes about is, and it is a bit broad, because I've struggled with the nicheness of so my niche is humans. Like, I'm still figuring it out, but I'm like, how do you help people? How do people, like, step into a niche and kind of understand what that niche is for them?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say a lot of people struggle, just like you, to niche down and to really focus their energy, because we feel like, you feel like you're almost, like, sometimes I think, shutting people off if you say, this is my lane. But selecting a niche isn't necessarily about saying, I'm not going to work with these people. It's saying, these are the people that I really want to work with. This is the focus of my business that I really want to have. So picking a niche, it's also picking something that's aligned with you. So, and I look at a niche from different perspectives, because some people come in and they're like, okay, my niche is, helping business coaches to optimize their Pinterest. Okay, great. So it's Pinterest, or is it coaches, or is it a certain quality? So for me, niche can be the quality, and that's where I think the qualities of the people. So if you are somebody like you who might struggle with the, like, narrowing down what it is you exactly do, instead focus on the people that you want to help. So you bring value to people's lives. Whose lives do you bring value to? Because that is going to help you then target those people. And the biggest thing with niching down is that by casting a smaller net, you're going to be better able to reach the people that are going to connect with you and that are going to resonate with you and your personal brand, and they're going to know, like, and trust you. So the power of niching down isn't like you restricting yourself, because it can feel restrictive. I get that, but it's letting yourself be seen by the people that need to see you. So it's not about, I run Google ads for restaurants. It's okay. Yes, fine. That's a niche. But what about that lights you up? What about those people do you want to see? And, like, for me, for instance, I work, with remote-based business owners to help build, grow, and scale their businesses. But taking that a step further, I work with people who aspire to be digital nomads, or people who even just love to travel and really want more freedom in their life, and who are a bit more free flowing and recognize that you don't have to fit into a certain box in order to be successful, and people who appreciate that. And I'm not going to narrow it down to say I only work with women who are 32 to 36 years old, who used to work in hotels and who do this. Like, no. Okay. So when you niche down, think about who you want to work with, what those qualities are, and that is your focus. And those are the people that you talk to. And then you go out and you actually talk to them. Because to niche down, you're actually talking to that audience, and you need to understand the words that they're using. And that's how you niche down, and you focus your marketing on that. And then those people are going to be more attracted to you. That you are building your personal brand around those people, and you're attracting the people that really, really light you up and that you get excited to work with, if that makes sense.
So, I mean, we know about Canva, we know about stuff like Recur Post and stuff. It's not on the list of questions yet, but do you have like 3 favorite tools that you use in your business, or that you recommend that people could maybe use?
Well, yes, lots of them, but it depends on, I guess, the purpose for that. Social media, and that's not a tool necessarily, I get that, but as an online business owner, social media is our friend. And if you are trying to build a business and you're saying, I don't want to be on social media, well, I've had clients that have succeeded without it, but it's not in the full remote sense. So you find your platform, the one that you resonate with the most, that you enjoy, that you have fun with, and that's going to be your like main tool. Honestly, like that's going to be where you spend a large bulk of your time. For me, it's Facebook. For other people, if you really love creating reels, it might be Instagram, and that's how you connect with people. So it's the platform where your people are and where you like to be the most. I also would recommend, in terms of business tools, to use. Okay, so many. Calendly, because
Calendly,
if you are
yes,
wanting to be over, and I know that sounds like some people don't even recognize like that's a thing, but it's a tool. And for me, like as somebody, you're remote based, you're not speaking with people face to face, setting meetings, and it allows you to really like throttle your schedule to say, okay, this is when I'm available, this is when I have my free time or my work time, and to kind of block yourself off instead of just sharing your calendar with somebody and say, no, I'm available whenever. No, when are you going to be available?
Yeah, Laura, what I don't understand is that, I deal with corporates often, and in a corporate setting, they still have to check each other's diaries. Well, I'm going to go and check my diary, and I'm going, oh my goodness, people, like, you could just create a link, click on the thing, check the time, go there, put your name in, and it does it. It's like, it's the easiest thing in the world.
Revolutionary technology. I know I do some consulting in the corporate world still as well. And yeah, nobody uses it. And I do project management consulting. So a lot of times I'm the one trying to organize the meetings. And when I try to like send a tool like that over, like most people are like, I don't know what to do. So yes, scheduling tools like Calendly, and honestly, just keeping it super simple. And especially if you're just starting out or you're not a techie, just tools that make your life simpler. So for me, that might be like a tool like iVoxer, but it's not relevant for everybody's business. So, but in my world and communicating with my clients, that is now the only place that I communicate with them, because I have Facebook, and my DMs over there are for, people in my public facing community for networking. But in my back end, everything that I do is in Voxer, all of my messaging and having that. Okay, I'm going to add one more. So that's one. And the fourth one is Discord, especially if you have a team or even one person on your team. It's very similar to like Slack, if you're familiar with that, but it's a free tool, and you can just organize the communications of your team, and it makes life so much easier in terms of messaging and keeping in touch with a remote-based team.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So, if you could have any advice for aspiring remote-based entrepreneurs out there, and I'm one of them, because I mean I get to work and do work often online, but I still find myself where clients, I don't know, they like having me in the room for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's lovely, but I'm like that means I can't be where I want to be. But
Mm-hmm.
what is the advice that you have for aspiring remote based entrepreneurs?
Um, well, to know your non-negotiables. So in your case, that might be that I only meet with people virtually, and to hold yourself to that, like know your non-negotiables and hold to that, because you should be building a business around your life, not a life around your business. If you want to be remote based, and especially if you want to be able to travel and have that flexibility and freedom of time. Um, so that I mean is probably one of the biggest is non-negotiables. Who you like to work with, when you like to work, how you work. That no matter what, you are only working with people that are okay with working on Zoom. If they're like, no, I don't do Zoom, we need to meet at a coffee shop, even though I'm 3 states away, or whatever, 1,000 kilometers away, you need to fly to me. No, like that's not what we do. We communicate via Zoom, and that is what it is. And for me, it's also people that are positive and that are always willing to try, even when things don't work. Because for me, like that's one of the things that sucks the energy right out of me. And as a remote based person, I want to be able to enjoy this life. I don't want to be constantly bogged down by stress. So if I'm working with stressful people that don't align with my things and the way I like to do business, then life is going to be miserable. So know your non-negotiables, whatever those may be for you, and stick to them, because that is going to make this a life worth living, instead of, again, building a business that you then have to try to fit this life into.
I'm just listening to you, and I kind of go, I don't think I have my non-negotiables down as I think, right? And I'm kind of going, yeah, that's, it's just should be a non-negotiable. I
Mm-hmm.
want to, for me, I want to wake up when I wake up, and I want to work when I'm working. Like, I don't mind if I have to work in the evenings. I don't mind, but the whole like 9 to 5 kind of
Mm-hmm.
general, I don't like that. I haven't liked it since I can remember. So the moment this kind of approach was available, I was like, yeah, I need to do this more. I think I just haven't labeled it a non-negotiable yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. And I'll say, just as an example, this was like a little over a year ago, got a contract, and it was a decent sized contract. It was like $35,000. And it was, okay, this is a great piece of business. It was more of a corporate piece of business, and the way they wanted to operate. And I felt it was wrong, like from the beginning. I'm like, no, like this is a nice piece of business, right? That's a lot of money. But every time I met with them, I was just like, oh, and then they treated it like I was a part of their 9 to 5 team. And it's like, this isn't who I want to work with. And I don't want to work this way. I don't want someone telling me when I have to meet with them. And I mean, they're my client. I have the ability to say no to them. So we both came to an agreement that it just was not a good fit. That I don't know that we're the best fit for you, because we don't work this way. My company was built around the concept of freedom, and I don't want to feel like I'm chained to my desk to be available to my client. And I walked away from that contract, and it felt great. Like, I thought it would be horrible and scary to walk away from that amount of money, but when you stay true to those non-negotiables, it's actually going to move you forward in your business.
Fantastic. Anything else in summary of today's conversation? Because I think this is so valuable. I think I've learned a lot. And in summary, what do you want to leave us with to sort of, and then after that, you can just tell us where we can get hold of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, just kind of parting words of wisdom is to to be yourself, stay true to what you want, and know that you are the most valuable thing that you have in your business every single day, and wake up reminding yourself of that, because the more you believe in yourself and this mission that you're on, the more that the things are going to fall into place, and the more you are going to be seen. So let that freak flag fly, be yourself, do business your way.
Absolutely. I love that. Lori, so if anybody wants to get a hold of you, what is the quickest way to do that? And what is that handle? Just give us the handle where we can get a hold of you.
Yep. So it would be probably my Facebook account, because that, as we talked about earlier, is my favorite place to hang out. And it's literally just it's facebook.com, the /Lori.Konkler.
Fantastic, guys. So and we'll have all those links and everything in the description boxes below. So go and check it out. It's going to be on all the social medias and all the platforms at least. And if you want to connect with the Xennial Traveling Coaching and Consulting Agency, and build, grow, and scale your remote business, then Lori's the one to talk to. Lori, thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for being and sharing some insights, because it's been fascinating, and I'm gonna create non-negotiables.
Good. I look forward to hearing what those are. And thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem. Thanks for joining us. Cheers for now.